Bombshell fans, get ready to hear how infected mushroom is taking the nation by storm.
We'll also give you the latest word on Seattle's sub-pop record label's most recent sign.
Only on Bombshell Music News. Hey music addicts, I'm Elle McCracken.
And I'm Camille Field.
And we're your Bombshell hosts.
Here to give you your weekly fix of music news.
The Vagabond Opera started Halloween off early this year at the 5th Annual Transylvanian Voodoo Ball on Saturday, October 29th at the Star Theater in Portland. As reported by Kirk Schultz via OregonLive.com, the band of 6 has extensively studied classical music. Having learned enough of the formal rules of music to bend or break them at will, the Vagabond Opera incorporates gypsy jazz, Eastern European folk music, and Arabic-inspired rhythms into their music. The Voodoo Ball served as a release party for the Vagabond Opera's 4th CD, Sing for Your Lives. Keeping with the opera's eclectic blend of influences, Sing avoids the traditional account of a single story in favor for thematically grouped scenes with imagery from bearded ladies to runaway hot air balloons. Their album hails from the strange crossroads where seedy meets sweet. The Transylvanian Voodoo Ball also featured fire-eating, belly dancers, and opening acts such as Chevrona and the Dolly Pops.
Sure, they have a silly band name, but Atlanta's Gringo Star can bust out some serious pop songs. And these guys should be taken seriously. As reported by Mark Lorne of the Portland Mercury, Shadow, from their just-released sophomore LP, Count Your Lucky Stars, is a tropical number polished up by producer Ben Allen. Allen is also responsible for the big sounds found on Gnarls Barkley's Saint Elsewhere and Animal Collective's Merriweather Post Pavilion. Essentially, he has taken Gringo Star's 60-inspired pop to new frontiers. Thanks to its infectious popularity, Count Your Lucky Stars has given Gringo Star a second life. The group recently brought their southern roots to the Northwest when they played at the Bunk Bar in Portland on Monday, October 31st. Hope to hear more great things from this band in the future.
Playing bass might seem like a thankless job in jazz, but one Portland bassist has greatly stood out, bringing versatility and passion to his music. Phil Baker sees playing the bass as an art form. As reported by Kyle O'Brien of Oregon Live, Baker is a local jazz musician who has become quite famous, touring with internationally known bands such as Pink Martini and playing at large venues such as Giant Stadium. He has also played with Diana Ross. Last Saturday, Baker was recognized and inducted into Jazz Society of Oregon's Hall of Fame, being only the 4th bassist ever to earn this honor. JSO President Bill Powers stated, quote, "We're looking for somebody who is an outstanding local musician, well-known outside the area, an evangelist for jazz, an educator, and someone who is moving jazz forward. Phil embodies all of those," end quote.
Madness can come in all shapes and sizes, at least according to Cleveland's musical duo Mr. Gnome. As reported by Ned Lanneman of the Portland Mercury, the band recently released Madness in Miniature, the 3rd full-length record from guitar-singer Nicole Braille and drummer-keyboardist Sam Meister. While it's easy to remark on their ability to make huge-sounding music with merely 2 people, what makes Mr. Gnome truly amazing is how they've sorted through their tangle of sounds and melodies to make a record that never strays. What's more is there has always been a Portland connection with the Cleveland band, beyond the city being one of their favorite tour stops. Mr. Gnome's first full-length record, Deliver This Creature, was partly recorded at Jackpot Studios in Portland. Meanwhile, Madness in Miniature was recorded in part with, and mixed entirely by, esteemed Portland engineer Bo Sorensen. 3 albums in, and Mr. Gnome has mastered the pacing and dynamic control that give their songs drama.
New recordings by the late soul singer Amy Winehouse will be released in December, according to Island Records, as reported by OregonLive.com. The album Lioness Hidden Treasures will contain 12 songs ranging from previously unreleased tracks, alternative versions of existing hits, as well as brand new songs not yet heard by fans. Island Records stated that Winehouse's longtime musical partners Mark Ronson and Salam Remy have spent time since her death in July listening to recordings of the singer. The duo quickly realized that they had a collection of songs that needed to be heard and were a fitting testament to Winehouse as an artist. Ronson and Remy compiled the tracks after collaboration with the late singer's family, friends, and management. The album is Winehouse's third after Frank and Back to Black. The record is set to be released on December 5th.
When Sub Pop, a Seattle-based record label, finds a band that creates a buzz, it tends to sign others in that genre to try to replicate the formula. Such is true with Still Corners, as evidenced on their Sub Pop debut, Creatures of an Hour. As reported by Dave Segal of the Portland Mercury, you could hear clear echoes of the similarly styled band Beach House in Tessa Murray's vocals and Greg Hughes's murmuring organ when they played at Mississippi Studios on Wednesday, November 2nd. You will also notice unmistakable evocations of their sister band Broadcast's more melancholy moments. The fact that Still Corners grips harder than Beach House speaks to their more robust rhythmic impact.
Stay tuned to hear about the sounds of the Manchester Orchestra.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
Just put your hands up, TV land.
Yo. Paradise is lost, I'm paralyzed by the imperative cause. She's sharing a coffin with the gods that I've crossed. And day by day I'm looking for another outlet. I shout, but I've yet to be heard. The fear of flying, broken wings of a bird. The feeling's unnerved, absurd with my words. A pseudo-intellectual that's just dying to serve. A fallen angel, fate filled with flaws and misfortune. Claw marks on the side of the well. The people attempts to be tortured. Swords drawn to the necks of the demons. Another metaphor, me just trying to protect all my feelings. The criminal dealings led us to the brink that's demonic. Born an angel, but I'm bringing back a plate that's bubonic. A profit like the narcotic product you got up in your pocket with more shock value than an electrical socket. The angel act, I dropped it like the sword of that dude Loki. So while you're on your deathbed, speak those words that you told me. Come on. You told me, you told me, you told me. You told me, you told me, you told me.
Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Don't worry, we're back with more music news.
Siren Nation is holding its 5th annual Music and Arts Festival this week. The kickoff party was Thursday, November 3rd at the Albina Press in Portland, and the festival will run through Sunday, November 6th. The festival has an extensive concert lineup at various venues around Portland featuring musical performers such as Eva Bamba and the Corinne Trucker Band. December Carson co-founded the Siren Nation Women's Music and Art Festival 5 years ago after working with various Portland bands and realizing the lack of female influence in the local music scene. Siren Nation is a nonprofit organization focused on supporting local female musicians, visual artists, and filmmakers. The organization helps women to pursue art as a career, not just a hobby. Tickets are available at sirennation.org.
As reported by Raquel Nasser of the Portland Mercury, the past 5 months have been good to Atlanta's alternative rock band Manchester Orchestra, given the rather rampant success of their third full-length album, Simple Math. Ironically, Simple Math is a concept album rooted in autobiography, with lead singer Andy Holt whittling down his life story from a maze of 100 tracks to just 10. If nothing else, Holt's songwriting has reached its peak, and the band as a whole is fully capable of lifting those impassioned songs right off the page. Joining Manchester Orchestra on their massive tour is Austin's White Denim, whose recent EP, Takes Place in Your Workspace, is brimming with catchy guitar riffs and the kind of Texas charm that you can only find in the state's alternative city. Manchester Orchestra and White Denim most recently performed at the Wonder Ballroom in Portland on Saturday, October 29th, and it sounds like it will be a great success.
Oregon State University's Wind Ensemble is performing a concert this Sunday at 3 p.m. with the Oregon Brass Society in Austin Auditorium in the LaSalle Center. The group is comprised of a 47-member ensemble that features the most experienced brass, woodwind, and percussion players on campus. The focus of this ensemble is to explore new literature and perform the famous works of the wind band genre. The OSU Wind Ensemble's reputation extends outside the Corvallis area, having recently been featured at the Oregon Music Educators Conference. They also played at Carnegie Hall in New York City. The group is scheduled to perform at the 2012 CBDNA Division Conference in March and will be on tour in Japan in June. The group recently released its first commercial CD through Mark Records in New York, and it is available on Amazon.com. The upcoming concert will feature guest conductor David Hatner. Tickets are free with the University ID and $10 to all others that wish to attend.
When Anna Monoguchi's first LP, Dawn Metropolis, was released, many were certain they were a flash-in-the-pan gimmick. 2 years and one Scott Pilgrim video game soundtrack later, Anna Monoguchi and their NES are still infusing poppy guitar, bass, and drum songs with mid-80s nostalgia. Their songs are darn infectious, and certain people may even feel compelled to jump up and down. As reported by Rebecca Wilson of the Portland Mercury, this Wednesday, November 2nd at Bronx in Portland, they shared a bill with Starscream, a darker computer band. Starscream sounds infinitely more grown up. They rock and can be enjoyed by those who would rather not jump in public.
A wave of electronica has crashed over the Northwest and the entire nation. Fresh American dubstep producers have been surfing the crest, but Infected Mushroom have helped to generate it. Long before drill bits and chainsaws became the primary tools of the dubstep-derived genre brostep, these trance pioneers mix layers of rhythms with pounding floor beats. The group incorporates elements of trip-hop, industrial, and psych rock and showcased this with their full-length album released in 2009 called Legend of the Black Shawarma. Infected Mushroom played this Thursday at the McDonald Theater in Eugene after coming off of a global tour. As reported by Patrick Newson for Eugene Weekly, the event was a place for dance, trance, costume, and lights for the club generation. Infected Mushroom is set to release another album early next year. In the meantime, they are continuing to gain popularity locally and around the world.
This past Sunday, the Oregon Symphony CD, Music for a Time of War, was released. The program was recorded under director Carlos Calmar and is an extension of the symphony's acclaimed Carnegie Hall debut last May. Composed during the Great War, the music moves from optimism to gut-wrenching fear. It was a magnificent display for the orchestra with robust violas, violins, and the brilliant solo contributions by principal tuba Jatik Clark, guest concertmaster Asiya Dolgerska, and guest principal flute Jessica Sindel. As reported by James McQuillan of the Oregonian, the opener was Beethoven's Violin Concerto, with Karen Gimyo as a soloist. With a no-nonsense stage presence, immaculate range, and beautifully controlled phrasing, she put a fresh twist on a familiar piece. Under Kalmar as the leader of the orchestra, it is clear that the group has become a brilliant Beethoven band over the past 10 years.
Peter Wolfkrier is an experimental band that has recently grown traditional with the release of their sophomore album, Garden of Arms. As reported by Raquel Nasser of the Portland Mercury, the band's first album, Inner B, served as a score for a series of short scenes performed by actors and guided by a director during their outbreak performances as a group. This caused a bit of disconnect and the band needed adjustment. In their second record, the duo truly honed their sound as a pair and still possessed the lucid visions shown in their first record. They stated that they used raw textures of the things they'd seen around the country while on a 7-month tour as inspiration for their second album. They also recently added keyboardist Kyle Flatner to the group. Peter Wolfkrier played on Tuesday, November 1st in Portland at the Mississippi Studios, with fans eager to hear their new sound.
Hey music lovers, hang tight and we'll be right back with some more music news.
I got no pulse, so losing him.
Shocking. Drives it around all the time. We just had a few drinks. This can't be happening.
Are we clear?
Clear.
You just buzzed.
Just buzzed. You didn't tell us that, sir. You're right, this isn't happening. You'll be fine.
I feel good.
Really?
No, not really.
Buzz driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal.
Shocking.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
This past weekend, some of our Bombshells checked out a local event.
Let's catch up with them and see how it went.
No sé si están listos, santos, y marcha, adelante.
What's up, guys? I'm Noé Martinez, and I'm reporting for Bombshell Music News. I'm here with this hip-hop artist. What's your name, man?
Yeah, my name is March 4th, also go by M4, Major March, and Marcha. Yeah.
Cool. My first question to you is, what inspired you to pursue a career as a musician?
I've always been doing music since I was a kid. I've been playing guitar, then I started bass and then percussion. You know, I've been in a band in my early teens, and I've always loved hip-hop, so it's something that I've, you know, done recently, but always been writing, always been, you know, doing poetry and then lyrics, so, you know, spitting is just something I had to do.
So we know that you're involved a lot with your community. How important is community organizing?
It's really important to me personally, you know, coming up. I live currently in Portland and I'm from Los Angeles. You know, being a youth, I think having a voice, and so I work with youth. You know, I organize with the youth on the issues that they face, and so my music speaks to that issue, you know, the things that youth are facing, being personified as hoodlums, being personified as people who aren't contributing to society. A lot of times youth, you know, they feel that, and then that's when they go on the street and feel like they need to be heard, and that's when it, you know, turns into gang activity and everything like that. So, you know, I was involved with that before, and, you know, I come from that culture and that background, and so I work with a lot of gang involved youth, and so I tell them, you know what, totally understandable, that's a form of expressing themselves, but there's other ways, and so I do it through music. So I do workshops for the youth. I do workshops, hip-hop workshops, where I teach kids how to rap, you know, how to flow, and you know, basically start getting them in the mindset of, all right, well, I could do this, and I could use the writing skills to get into college and do other things. So, you know, they turn that into a positive outlet for them.
Okay, cool. Rockin' out, it's the 1970s, Tom B. Let's begin with a little story. Tell it back in my old nation, a place called El Civar. Oh, war is in motion, U.S. cleared.
My next question would be, what musicians inspire you the most?
Musicians that inspire me would definitely have to be, you know, growing up the whole G-Funk era, so everyone associated with that, and Project Load, later on in LA, the Spitters, you know, all the lyricists, Freestyle Fellowship, and then after that, 2Mex. Big ups to homie. We did a show out here in Portland recently. That was it. And everybody else I've worked with recently, that's who I'm digging around.
So what type of music do you try to infuse in your songs?
I try to put, you know, a lot over a span of, I guess, a year. When I was recording my mixtape, I was listening to everything. I was listening to reggae, ska, hard rock, metal, folk, world music. So a lot of what I put into that last project I did comes from those different styles of music, and so it all comes back to hip hop, you know, because that's what I do. But I'm giving something to the people that they've heard from different areas, and I like to keep it different. I like to keep it, you know, diverse. So that's what I do. That's awesome.
Santos came from a broken home, so the story was told, and grew up on the blocks of a Los Angeles barrio. Survived with pride in high school, 4.0 GPA. Teachers stopped him after class and graced him with praise, but the problem was his parents gave him everything but love. And
so, can you please tell us about your past work? What are your most relevant songs, and what's coming up for you?
My last work before what I have now was in 2008. I dropped an EP called Forward, and that was produced and mastered by Tom B. Shout out to Tom B. You know what I mean? I went to OSC with them. Now he's in LA doing his thing. And after that, you know, right now I got a mixtape out called Aim to Remain. So it's Aim to Remain mixtape. And I got collabs on there with Diesel P, Jay Chronic, and I think the most relevant work in the past was a song I did for a friend of mine, actually, that has a show on cable, and that one is called Pura Inspiración. That's basically an ode to the protest that happened in 2006 regarding May Day and immigrants' rights. Right now, I think the relevant songs right now, as feel, you know, those singles that should be put out there on the radio and everything right now are March 4th and Riot Starter. Those are really the songs I think that have the most of an impactful message.
Told you what has been, where you at when shit hits the fan. Find me ducking and aiming, shooting beats through speak 360 degrees, resurrecting hip hop across the galaxies. Tap into conscience, positive influence. Teachers are teaching, but students ain't listening. Course irrelevant. Here's the fifth element. Music is moving, so call it the catalyst.
So where can we find your music, and what are some upcoming shows?
Yeah, my next show is gonna be at Society downtown Portland on November 18th. That's gonna be my birthday bash, so check that out. And you can check out my music, majormarch.com. On Facebook, it's March 4th, so like the date, March 4th. And you can hit me up on Twitter if you wanna collab. Yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. Message me at Major March. That's what it is.
Cool. So if you want to check him out, you know,
yep,
you know, there's a contact point right there. Check out his music if you want. It's good music. Yeah. To finish this interview, Jose here is gonna do some freestyle rapping. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You know it. Back in the day, I got pulled over, right a white brown in the set 5 Nova. Then I got older, a little more sober, and ready to chair to the cover got towed up. That's when things started to change. I began analyzing, escape the change from my brain. Why are our people poor? Why do I get those looks at stores? Why do the school doors close? Why brown and black stay packed and whole 8 like cheer? It's all for the money. Got crashed on the corner like a damn test dummy. Funny, those my clouds upside down like a flag when I burn it as its ashes hit the ground. The same sword where old Geronimo walked. They defamed his name with plots that got Osama caught, and heads that fled, arrested back to the res. Disenfranchised forever, locals get out the lead. Point them in the right direction. Yeah, you heard what I said. Leave it to the mic's discretion, cause there's no sound check.
Woo! That was hot. That was hot. Can you give out a shout out for Bombshell Music News?
Bombshell Music News. Check that out. You know where it is. Keep it locked all day.
This is Noe Martinez reporting for Bombshell Music News.
Well, that's the latest music news for this week.
But don't leave just yet. More Music Fusion Fridays is on the way after this. See you next week.